There is a part of Germany where the trees grow so close together that even sunlight struggles to survive. The Black Forest, a place famous for fairy tales, fog, old villages, and roads that seem to disappear into endless darkness. But long before it became a tourist destination, people here were terrified of something far worse than wolves. Because in the late 1500s, entire villages near the Black Forest became convinced that witches were meeting deep beneath the trees. Not in stories, in real life. And what followed was so brutal, so disturbing, that history almost buried it. Most people know Salem. Very few know that the forests of southwestern Germany saw some of Europe's deadliest witch hunts decades earlier. But the darkest part of this story wasn't the witches. It was what ordinary people became when fear took over. It started the way many horrors do, with something small. A child develops a fever overnight. A farmer's cattle die for no visible reason. Fresh milk turns black by morning. A storm destroys one house, but somehow leaves the rest of the village untouched. In isolated forest communities, life was already hard. One bad winter could mean starvation. One sickness could wipe out an entire family. So when things went wrong, people didn't ask why. They asked who. And slowly, suspicion always found the same kind of person. The widow who lived near the woods, the herbal woman who knew roots and medicines, the old woman children were told not to visit, the one villagers feared but secretly depended on. That's how paranoia spread in southwestern Germany's real witch persecutions. Rumor, fear, then accusations that multiplied fast. Then came the night everything changed. A local woodcutter was returning home late. The moon was barely visible through the fog. As he moved between the pines, he saw light flickering deeper in the forest. At first, he thought it was poachers, maybe thieves, but when he stepped closer, he froze. In a clearing stood several figures, women, completely still, faces hidden beneath dark shawls, standing around a fire so weak it barely lit the ground. No one spoke, no one moved. Then one of them slowly turned her head toward him, and according to the village record that survived in later retellings, he recognized her. It was the priest's sister. The next morning, she was arrested. Was the story true? No one knows. But in witch trial hysteria, stories didn't need proof. They only needed fear. And fear was everywhere. The Black Forest itself became part of the terror. The deeper woods were so dense that sound traveled strangely. People heard whispers where there was only wind, footsteps where no one stood. Church bells carried through the fog and seemed to come from impossible directions. Soon, villagers were convinced that witches were gathering in forest clearings for Sabbaths, secret meetings with the devil, dances beneath the trees, pacts written in blood. This exact Sabbath panic became one of the engines of mass witch hunts in Germany, where torture often forced prisoners to name dozens more suspects. That's where the nightmare truly began. One arrest became 5, 5 became 20, 20 became entire bloodlines erased. People were dragged from farmhouses in the middle of the night, mothers taken from children, daughters forced to testify against fathers, priests questioned, midwives accused. Even local officials weren't safe. The interrogations were designed to break them. Did you meet the devil? Did you fly over the forest? Did you poison the river? Did you curse the livestock? If they denied it, torture continued. If they confessed, they had to name others. And that's how entire villages collapsed into madness. In some southwestern German trials, hundreds died within only a few years. But the most disturbing legend comes from a forgotten Black Forest village trail. Locals say one of the condemned women never stopped walking. According to the story, she was led through the woods toward the execution square at dawn. Fog covered the path. Villagers followed at a distance. But halfway through the trail, a guard stopped. The woman was gone, chains still hanging open, no footprints leaving the road, no broken branches, nothing. Just the sound of something moving deeper between the trees. Some believed the devil took her, others believed the forest itself did. And for generations after, villagers avoided that path after sunset. Even now, locals still preserve tales of the Hexenweg, the witch's path. Now here's where the retention twist comes in. What if the real horror wasn't supernatural at all? Because historians studying southwestern Germany found that many witch hunts peaked during famine, war stress, disease, and religious conflict, meaning the witches may simply have been victims of panic. People needed control, needed answers, needed someone to punish. And the Black Forest, with its darkness and isolation, became the perfect backdrop for fear. The trees made every rumor believable. Every shadow became proof. Every widow became suspicious. That's why this topic hits so hard psychologically. The monster was never in the forest. The monster was mass hysteria. But one final story still survives. A magistrate who sentenced several women was said to ride alone through the forest one winter evening. His horse suddenly stopped, wouldn't move, wouldn't breathe, would only stare into the trees. Then from every direction came laughter, soft at first, then louder. Women laughing, not close, not far, everywhere. The magistrate reportedly returned home shaking. By morning, he accused his own daughter of witchcraft. That's how broken the human mind becomes when it lives inside fear too long. And maybe that's why this story still works today. Because the Black Forest is still there. The villages are still there. The fog still rolls across the same trails. And somewhere beneath those roots lies the memory of innocent people who died because a village needed someone to blame. That's what makes the Black Forest witch trials so terrifying. Not because witches may have existed, but because history proves ordinary people were capable of becoming far worse, under pressure, in darkness, inside the trees, where even now sunlight barely touches the ground.